Hello, welcome to Incognito TV, episode 1 of Cheap Love. Today, and on every episode of Cheap Love, we're going to be exploring relationships. StarCraft 2 is a strategy game, and the strategies are largely driven by economic decisions. That is, how am I going to control resources, and how am I going to employ them? Within any economic system, you have the interplay or the relationship between various assets. In StarCraft, those assets would be structures, units, minerals, gas, and how those work together, relate with each other to enable your strategy. So today on Cheap Love, we're going to set the mood with some romantic literature, which is available on Amazon. If you've got a Kindle, you can go ahead and get this title here for free. We're going to be exploring Gianni and Leah, Leah's Seduction 1, a Rinaldi romance by Emily Jane Trent. Chapter 1. Leah sat on the bottom of the staircase in her tiny New York apartment, though no one was there to see. A warm flush washed over her body. She'd die if anyone read her private journal. Yet it was missing. It was likely that a perfect stranger was turning the pages, soaking in her most intimate thoughts. She buried her face in her arms, but couldn't find the strength to weep. The last few weeks had been rough, with her mother's cancer and all. Sylvie Ivers was only in her late 40s, and such a life-threatening disease had never been something to worry about until it happened. It was all so sudden and emotionally devastating. Sitting in the hospital, looking into her mother's blue eyes, her skin pale and her features so delicately fragile, Leah thought her heart would break. The fear that her mother would die consumed her. It couldn't be true, and so far it wasn't. But the situation remained tentative, so Leah didn't need more stress. She had just returned from Portland, leaving her parents and 2 sisters behind. At least her mother was at home, resting. The prognosis was somewhat encouraging. One day at a time, Leah reminded herself. She'd always been close to her mother, both parents really. Sylvie's dedicated beauty had been bestowed on Leah's youngest sisters, but had somehow missed her, though she did inherit her father's brown eyes. The journal, Leah groaned. Any other woman wouldn't be careless enough to carry such a valued item outside her own apartment. But then any other woman would have a boyfriend, go to parties, and engage in casual sex. None of that fit Leah's personality or lifestyle. No, she had to write everything down in blue ink within the pages of a beige leather journal. It should have been red leather, considering the content. The endless scribbling onto paper helped release the frustration she seemed to have no resolution. Reflecting once more on what she'd had the nerve to write down, Leah sighed heavily. It had to be there. Determined to find the missing item and restore some semblance of order to her life, she scoured every inch of her 500-square-foot apartment. Residential space was at a premium in Manhattan. Through fashion school, Leah had scraped by, enduring a rented room. It was the only place she had been able to afford. Once she had secured a steady job, finding her own place had been next. The interior design took advantage of the high ceilings more than the narrow width. The blonde wood floors met with a blonde wood staircase that led to a loft bed, not a bedroom, as the space was insufficient. But the mattress, covered with a cozy quilt and nestled on a platform, was just big enough for it. That was comforting. Considering that Leah wouldn't likely be entertaining men, it didn't matter. As a further economy, each stair doubled as a storage compartment. One by one, Leah opened the lids and rifled through the contents. no journal. So as we think about Leah's current situation, short on money, longed for love, making the best of what she had available in her small apartment. The tragedy all around her. I wonder where Leah is going to go in this story. I wonder who she's going to meet. I wonder if she'll find everything she's looking for. So today, we're going to talk about making the most of what you have and how to make that decision, what that decision really means. So we're going to look at what we can produce, and if we add something into our build, like an engineering bay or a factory or more barracks or an expansion, what sort of opportunity costs do those decisions have, and what does that mean in terms of time and using your resources? So we're going to create a custom game, and we're going to build 3 barracks and crank out as many Marines as we can, and at the 10-minute mark we're going to stop and count. And then we're going to make some adjustments to that, and we're going to see how many Marines we have at the end, and then consider what benefit our alteration has toward the efficacy of those Marines. And we have a new map pool. Oh my. Because the season just restarted. Happy new season. Wow. These are old maps. Okay. So let's load into a 2-player map. Acheron Waste will probably be good. Create game. We're going to just throw in an easy AI so that we don't have to worry about our little experiment getting messed with. And let's see what happens. 3 barracks, all Marines. We're going to saturate our mineral line, so that's going to be 16 SCVs on the minerals. We're not going to mine gas. And we're just going to see how many Marines we've got at 10 minutes. And then we're going to do some deviations of that. So there isn't going to be a whole lot for me to talk about while this is happening. Just think about Leah. Think about her longings, her desires, her small apartment, using the staircase as both a means of transport and storage. Think about that.